Contrast has been so strong these past few months, I've grown immensely from it. One thing yet still bugs my current time tremendously. It concerns my child, which is the dearest thing in the whole world to me. The father and I, we are and live separated, have opposing opinions about what's the best division of the shared custody. I believe a 4-year-old should have one base, offering my home, so that he can see his dad as much as he wants to. But my son is expressing strong desire to spend more time with me, while the dad is convinced that our son should be 50-50% shared, both days and nights, no matter what our son expresses. This situation has brought me to my knees. That's one of those strong statements, like in the earlier one, devastation. We think it's too strong of a feeling for what you're pointing it at. But we'll explain as we move forward. I do not know which is my path of least resistance here. We're already dealing with lawyers because of this, and I am again and again falling into step as it is rubbed in my face the whole time. My son expressing to me, asking me, begging me to stay with me, and the dad, against his will, is taking him with him. I know with all my beingness that it would be best for him to have his base with me. Not with all of your beingness, dear heart. Because that feeling of devastation means your inner being is not in agreement with that thought that you think and how you feel when you think that thought. All of my disconnected beingness, all of my guardedness, all of my pushing against his father, all of my reasons for not wanting to be with his father. In other words, we're not saying that you don't have your reasons. It doesn't feel good to fight, and it doesn't feel good to pet my cat and try to ignore this huge situation. I would like your opinion on this. I know my child chose us as his parents for a reason. And I do believe the dad loves his child very, very dearly. How can I stop stepping into fury when confronted with my ex and remain strong in my center for my son while accepting something that feels so wrong to me? All right. You did a good job of describing that. Anyone listening in can understand the situation. So we want to step back just a little bit and amplify some of the things that we already said to you and help you to understand something, that the birds, the mother and father birds in our previous story of Jerry and Esther, understand that often children become a sort of bargaining chip for parents. And so, sort of like a possession that you're fighting over. The advantage to the child when both parents are expressing that way is that the child can feel appreciated and wanted by both, or can feel torn apart. From our perspective and from the perspective of your inner being, this is what we know for sure. For sure. When two parents, and you're right, two chosen parents who don't get along with each other, when two chosen parents live differently, you are providing an opportunity for your children to experience up close how different people are in the world, how they feel and what their life is like, how they seem to feel in terms of emotion and what comes to them in response to that. So in this situation, with each of you fighting, sort of arguing 50-50 over this, you are behaving the same way. Neither of you is affording your child an opportunity to notice much difference. All your child notices is that you're both angry about him seemingly all the time. You have an opportunity to offer a different vibrational stance, one like your inner being holds. Of course, his father has that opportunity too. If either of you said, you may spend all of your time with the other, then you would worry that your child would feel abandoned by you. In other words, you argue for your limitation no matter where you stand, most of you, in this human situation. But what if you were able to step back? What if you took some of your true knowing? What if you saw through the eyes of your inner being, through the eyes of your source? And what if you knew? What if you believed in the well-being of your child? What if you believed in your child's well-being? What if your most strong desire, your most fervent wish is for your child to understand his own guidance system, and you were to demonstrate your guidance system to him? What if he could go there and have a good time and come to you and have a good time? What if he could have a good relationship with both of you? Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? And wouldn't that give him an opportunity to understand something that almost no one understands? Don't you want him to know about his guidance system? Don't you want to know about your own? You know what happens when most parents split up, or most people split up? It's what we were talking about earlier. You feel negative emotion, plenty of it in the process. And then you're arguing for your rightness all the time, as if the other one is never right, when often the other one is right too. In fact, you can both always be right. That's a hard thing to accept, but it is often the case. You're right about your perspective of life. And then, because you feel negative emotion, you try to justify the rightness of you while you're feeling that negative emotion, and then you argue for those limitations by pushing hard against the other. And in the meantime, put this little one caught in the middle in a really difficult position, because you've already, as most parents do, taught him to believe that pleasing others is the right choice. What does somebody do when there's two people who want different things about him? Come with me, come with me, come with me, come with me. Now you're making it out to sound like he doesn't really want to go with his father. Well, that's not unlikely if it's something that brings you a lot of distress. The way you sort this out is by stepping back into the fundamentals that we talk about here all the time, where you acknowledge that if your child comes to believe in any way, shape, or form that you are his guidance, and that his father is also his guidance, and then you argue with each other over who is the best guidance, he'll need therapy too. Are you beginning to understand, through all of the conversations that we have on all of the topics of co-creating that are moving through this forum, are you beginning to understand that satisfaction, what you call happiness, only comes from having a desire and moving in the direction of it? You don't ever want to be someone that puts anyone in the middle of anything like that. Life is not meant to be a tug of war. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would decide right now, we are both his parents, and as you so wisely said, that he has chosen. And we would, if we were his mother, we would look for positive aspects in his father, and we would stop this minute waging war against someone who is naturally calling him out of the nest forward also. We didn't tell you a story about a mother bird and a father bird, and the father bird standing out on the fence post calling the chicks out, and the mother bird saying, "No, stay here, here's another little worm for you." We did not describe to you parents with split energy who were in competition with each other, who were driving their chicks crazy. Come, stay, come, stay. We told you the story of bird parents who are in alignment because they are in alignment with source energy. So the animal kingdom and the bird kingdom does not put their offspring in the impossible situation of not knowing how to follow their guidance. They teach by example what instinct is, what true connection and alignment is. you'll figure out how to be more cooperative. And you might want to say, well, I am that and his father isn't. Well, maybe you're saying that and we are not in agreement with that. You might feel you're more cooperative and you might appear to be more cooperative, but this isn't a who's the most cooperative contest. Don't pitch yourself in competition about any other human. Don't do that. Let what they are inspire you and call you, but don't put yourself in competition about it. You want to say, what if I get cooperative? What if I become a cooperative component to my inner being? And I can find ways of letting him go, even when he doesn't want to go. And this is our promise to you. When you stop doing that thing you're doing that makes you feel so devastated, your child will stop having split energy over it. And he will go more easily. His dad is fun too. His dad loves him too. You have to let that be all right. Any of you in relationship with anyone, you must let people gravitate to their interests. If in your insecurity and in your jealousy you try to hold anyone back, resentment is the next logical step for them. You just got to be in alignment with your inner being, where you are reveling in the best for those that you are focused upon, especially these dear hearts that are your children.